going to talk about a manufacturer and a distribution company that built their own building for millions of dollars. They're a successful company. They're not old. They're not 20 years old, but they've got some life on them. They're a successful company that manufactures and distributes a product kind of all over the country. They've had tremendous growth in the past few years, and that's a good thing. They also acquired a company a year ago, and now that company has just shot to the moon, and so this company is not in hyper growth mode, but for what they do, it's pretty much hyper growth. And if you ask them, they would say it's hyper growth. But the building and the warehouse and kind of the facilities that they've been using and duct taping together just haven't been working for them. And so they spent a considerable amount of time in the market with commercial leasing agents trying to find a suitable building. And kind of here's what they came up against. Either the buildings that they could afford from a lease and committing to a 10-year window, because they needed to know that they had the runway to let their business continue to grow and expand. So the buildings that they were looking at either didn't have the function that they required, or they had the function, but now the lease terms were just too expensive, and they couldn't seem to make the math work. And so what did they do? Well, they went into an industrial park in an area that they like, and they found just a piece of land. They found a couple of acres, and they constructed their own building. The cost of the land plus the cost of the building and a mortgage was more affordable compared to the straight leasing costs and commitment of a 10-year lease. But not only was the decision motivated by cash flow, but it was really also motivated by the needs of the business. By constructing their own building, they were able to build exactly what they needed for the next decade of growth. And so today the building is more than they require, but the cost savings and confidence of knowing and having the next decade of space available to them was worth the effort and the energy. And keeping in mind that just because they've built a building and maybe they're not using all of it, they can find other users for that space and actually subsidize the mortgage payment by doing that. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that certainly would be an option. So at first they considered doing a sale leaseback where maybe they didn't, they thought, well, as a business, do we really want to own a property? Let's just go find some investors who we can sell the land to. They can build the building for us, and then we'll just lease it from them. So we kind of get the leasing option. We don't have the ownership headaches, but we also now get to know that we've got our building secured for the next 10 years or however long we need it. And then the owners thought, you know what, maybe as owners, we will buy it and lease it back to the business. It'd be a good investment for us. We're very active in the business, and so we've got kind of a good sense of what's happening, and this could be a good thing for us in 10 or 20 years that we've got a paid-for asset, we've got great cash flow coming off of it. But then ultimately they decided that the property was the best investment for the business. The owners just said, you know what, if this is, if these two companies, if this is kind of what we're doing and where we're going, it probably makes sense that we put this asset in the business. So they decided to do it that way. The owners are more than happy with the decision, and after spending years of trying to work around the problems that they've been having with their facilities, they can now focus on growing the business, on serving more customers. And as a side note, so this was a deal that was millions of dollars, and they didn't have to put in hardly any cash whatsoever. The bank understood their need for cash flow, got really excited about the position of both of these businesses, the history of both of these businesses, and offered them just an amazing financing solution that, normally if you were out door knocking as a business owner and tried to put this together, probably wouldn't happen. But we were able to work with them, and they ended up getting just a great deal put together. So if your business is considering a commercial mortgage, much like this business for some of the same reasons, go to emilynow.ca, create an account, get your Emily score, and see which banks or lenders will accept your request for financing. But more important than that, at emilynow.ca, it's not just a website and an online platform. There's a real team of people behind it that are helping structure deals and put deals together. So you can hit the live chat, you can call us, you can send us emails, but more importantly, if you go to emilynow.ca, you stick your request in, it's going to land on someone's desk, and they're going to be able to interact with you and actually help you put your deal together.